guys, this is Sarah with Eclipse Botanica. If you're new to my channel, I make videos documenting my journey with my very first small business. Today's video, we're going to be talking about 10 things that you can do to improve the hot throw of your candles. This is talked about in all of my Facebook groups all the time, so I thought that I would just kind of compile a list of everything that I have learned or that I have read about. Most of these things I have tried myself. I think only like 2 of them I haven't, but I just wanted to include them on the list because I've heard really good things about them. So number 1 is to understand the limitations of the wax that you're using or the wax that you want to use. So for instance, right now a lot of people are trying to get a good hot throw out of the 464 Golden Brand's soy wax. So if you have decided that that's the wax that you want to use, I would suggest just make sure that you do your research so that you understand that soy waxes are harder to get a hot throw than, say, a paraffin wax. Paraffin waxes are synthetic. They're made to give off a better hot throw. I personally can't stand paraffin waxes. They're greasy and disgusting to clean up, and plus I do actually want to use more natural candles. I know that everybody is trying to use more natural ingredients in their products, which I think is awesome. You have to take the good with the bad. You get the natural ingredients with the soy, but the hot throw will be harder to achieve, but don't fret because we have 9 more steps here that you can try. All right, so number 2 is to try heating your wax to higher temperatures. Most of the manufacturer's instructions say to heat it up to about between 185 and 200. You actually can heat them up higher than that. And I've had certain instances where I heated my wax up to about 220, and that really helped with the hot throw. So try messing with the temperature that you're heating up your wax to. Number 3, try pouring at different temperatures. This seems weird because, like, why would pouring at a different temperature have anything to do with the hot throw? I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a scientist, but I have noticed that pouring it at different temperatures does have an effect on the hot throw. Number 4 is to try adding your fragrance oil at different temperatures. So this one is a little bit confusing because I at first thought that I needed to add my fragrance oil whenever it was at a really low temperature, because whenever your wax is really hot, I thought it was burning off the fragrance oil as it was cooling down. But then some of my candles had no hot throw if I put it in too cold. Other ones had a great hot throw. So it totally depends. One thing I would suggest, which I did not do, is when you are trying these things out and when you're testing your candles, keep almost all of your variables the same. Like, keep your containers the same, keep the wax the same, keep your fragrance oil the same. That way you can really hone in on exactly what it is that's either working or that's not working, and you can move forward with that. Number 5 is to change your fragrance oil percentage. A lot of people are doing like the highest amount of fragrance oil percentage that wax can hold, and that's not always the best way to go about it. I've done some, I think the highest I've ever done is 10%, but then I did another one with 8%, and it actually smelled better. I mean, the 10% one may have smelled stronger, but that doesn't mean that it's better. You want them to smell nice, not just like punch you in the face strong. Number 6, I know this is very controversial, but this is just my opinion. Cure your candles for 2 weeks. I know not everybody knows what curing your candle really means. It's whenever you've poured your candle and it is now sitting and waiting. Some people say that you only need to cure like 12 to 24 hours. That for me has never worked. I have always had to cure my candles at the very bare minimum for 10 days. I would like to cure them for at least 2 weeks, and if I can even fit it in there, go for 3 weeks, because that helped a lot. But I know that there are some videos out there, there's a lot of information out there that's saying that curing is basically a myth. And maybe for certain waxes and certain fragrance oil combinations, maybe with certain combinations, maybe they don't need a cure time, and that's great. But in my experience, I have noticed that I've needed to cure all of my candles at least for 10 days. I tried doing them for 24 hours, and that did not turn out very well. Number 7, put a lid on while you're curing. I know that not all candle containers have lids like this, obviously the tin containers do, but a lot of candle containers don't have lids, so then just like put a notebook on top. But put something on top. But that way, whenever it's curing and the molecules are binding together, it's all happening inside of that space and nothing is getting released into the air before you want it to. Number 8, try a lot of different types of wicks. And what I mean by types of wicks is like the HTP wicks, the CD wicks, Eco wicks, the Premier 7 something. Try different types of wicks, because if you just stick to one kind and then like find the right size for it, it might not be the right kind for the wax that you're using. Because I've noticed, I've tried a few different waxes and a few different wicks, and there are certain wicks that work better with specific waxes. It depends on what wax you're using, probably the fragrance oil too. So this is also another reason why you should always write down every single little detail of what you're doing in every single test candle, because then you can go back to it later on, refer to what you did, and move forward with what worked. Number 9 is additives. There are additives. There are things that you can add to your wax. One of them is called Vybar. There's another one called like just universal additive. I'm not really sure what that is exactly. You can also add coconut oil to your candles. I've been working with Vybar quite a bit lately, and it does help with the hot throw, but I've noticed that it tends to make my candles cauliflower. And if you do not know what cauliflowering is, let me show you. That monstrosity is cauliflowering, and it is hideous, and I would never want to give it to a customer. And I noticed that happens a lot with Vybar. It also has happened a few times when I didn't put any Vybar in it though, so I think it has to do with the moisture. I think maybe if there's like extra moisture in that batch of wax, then that'll happen. But if you put Vybar in it, that's gonna happen every time. So I'm not really sure what that is. I am going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out, but I haven't figured it out yet. Lastly, number 10. This is something that I didn't do in the beginning. I don't know why it took me so long to realize that I could do this, but you can actually mix waxes. You can mix like your soy wax and a coconut wax. You can mix paraffin and a soy wax. You can add just a little bit of paraffin into your soy wax. Instead of putting additives into it, you can just put a little bit of paraffin wax into it. If you just really don't want to use any additives or any paraffin or anything unnatural, then you can mix it with other natural waxes and just see what those work like together. I do want to say real quick that I am not a scientist. I am not a legal professional. I am just sharing my experiences and what I've heard with you guys, so that hopefully y'all can take, everything that I say and know that it'll probably be different whenever you try it yourself. So always remember that. But anyways, I really hope that these help somebody out there. If you have any questions at all about this, just drop a comment below and I will do my best to get back to you. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.